When the first Lisabi came out in September 2024 on Netflix, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. First moment, I've been a fan of the Yoruba epic Nollywood films, they've been doing good stuff. Seen a couple of them that I like. There were some that I didn't like, especially in 2024 when a lot of people were trying to replicate the successes of those that worked. And then Lisabi came out in September. Lisabi is directed by Niyi Akinmolayan. And I thought it was good. I liked two-thirds of the movie, the first and second act, because I think prior to its release, I hope I'm not getting things wrong here, but we were let in that this was going to be a two-parter. So I had expectations, because if you decide to tell a story in two parts, a slow build-up is expected, crescendo, and then payoffs. So I was good with how Lisabi, the Uprising, slowly built up its characters, especially its titular character, Lisabi, played by Lateef Adedimeji. It was good. Slowly building up to the character's motivations and the need and desire to take a stand against the Oyo people. It was good. I had problems with the ending. I thought it was too fantastical. I thought it was, but it wasn't enough for me to not like the movie. I liked it. So I was very expectant of the sequel, and then Niyi told us it was coming out in January. So it was something to look forward to. I have a problem with Nollywood films that release in January because of my bad experience with 𝐶 was not a good film, and it made me cautious of Nollywood films that release in January because I thought that 𝐶 almost messed up my year. And I still roll with that belief 3 years later. So, but with Lisabi, because I enjoyed the first one, I was a little less weary about, the sequel messing up. And also because it was coming out on January 10th and not the 1st, so it was, something to look forward to. Now that I've Lisabi to A Legend is Born, let's just say that I am disappointed. Because while Lisabi wanted the slow route towards build up, Lisabi took a horrible route to pay off. So let's talk a little bit about the things I liked about Lisabi, Legend is Born, before we go into what I didn't like. I still am a fan of the costumes. I think they are colorful and vibrant. I don't know much about the authenticity to the Egba people, and the Egba people of the time the film is supposed to be set in because it's based on real life incidents, So I don't know exactly how authentic the costumes are to history. But visually, for a film, I thought they were good. They looked good. Everybody's costume, from Oyemi's 𝐶𝐵𝐸𝐶, Odunlade Adekola, in the few scenes he appeared, I liked what he was wearing. So each of these costumes, as a regular person, as a warrior, I liked it. And just generally, the costumes were fine. I really like the costumes of Lisabi's spirit guides. I liked the costumes from the first and the second one, so it was a thing that continued that I liked. Something else I liked is the music, use of music and soundtrack. I thought it was fine. It was immersive. It helped with the viewing experience. So that was something else. Let me see what else. The attempt to want to fuse universal themes. Betrayal was a standout theme in this film. Lisabi got betrayed by his people, by his peers. Whenever universal themes are infused, in storytelling, Nigerian storytelling, I like it because it makes it have a broader appeal. So execution, well, we have left some to be desired, but the attempt to want to infuse that is good. Then there's the other recurring ones like, fight for liberation, freedom, and love. Oh, Niyi. It was a good stuff, The problem this show had generally is execution, lofty ideas, lofty dreams, And I think a lot of people on social media talk about how it's based on a true life story. So did you want them to change anything? And I laugh whenever I see comments like this because that a story is being adapted from real life incidents doesn't give it the right to be boring. It doesn't give it the right to be lackluster. In fact, before a story should get adapted, it means that it has a broad appeal. There is something about the story that is so intriguing that will appeal to the masses. Okay? The story of Lisabi is a good one. A regular man who had to step up to defend his community, the Egba people, from oppression. A lovely story. That's a good story idea that appeals to almost anybody, And then when you go through the happenings, they're pretty much interesting things, And so the story had no right to be boring. But for some reason, the conclusion is boring. And it stems from creative choices with the story, how things are structured, and just left a lot to be desired. One of the glaring creative choices that was made is how Deyemi's character, I don't even know his name for the life of me, Deyemi Okanlawon's character, who was like this big being teased. It was supposed to be like 𝐒𝐭𝐤𝐴's follow-up. 𝐒𝐭𝐤𝐴 was played by Ibrahim Chatta in the first film, and it was a very good villain, charisma, character-wise, story-wise. But this guy, whoever he is, Deyemi's character, let's just say he fizzled out almost as quickly as he fizzled in. 1 minute is in, next minute, dead, the end, we've moved on. And it was disappointing because when he was discharged quickly, I still held a little bit of hope, thinking that there was going to be a follow-up, a build-up towards the 𝐿𝐵𝐴𝐶 Oyo, played by Odunlade Adekola. I thought if there was going to be a follow-up to Lisabi fashion with him, I thought that may have been the plan. But turns out that Odunlade is much more wasted in this one than he was in the first. If you're discharging the villain, Deyemi's character, this early into the runtime, I think somewhere around half mark, and there's a lot of time to go, and you don't even go back to the villain that we thought was going to be the main villain. You just do away with the whole plot about 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐳. That's the end. And then you introduce new villains from our hero's circle. I was confused. It was very surprising. It was a very surprising storytelling choice because there was no single build-up towards this. The betrayal just came out of nowhere. This guy, Bejide, was in the second movie I got to know his name. Because in the first one, he and the other guys are nameless. In fact, we only know these characters because they are played by popular faces. Gabriel Afolayan, 𝐂𝐨𝐧𝐬𝐿, familiar faces. So, but she were nameless, they're just sort of side characters. And then in this movie, towards the end, they just spring up. They are given a very important part to play in a very jarring narrative pivot. I came out of nowhere. Bejide is standing up to Lisabi because he's jealous. There'll be no single build-up towards this, not even crumbs left for us to follow, nothing at all whatsoever. And not just is that Bejide is challenging Lisabi is taking a stance, and it just happened. Bejide is dead. Lisabi is being blamed for his death. Before you know, 𝐒𝐭𝐤, she was given more to do in the second one. 𝐒𝐭𝐤 is caught in between, next thing she's dead. A lot started to happen, and this lot was surprising because it all seemed to come out of nowhere. And that was how the film chose to finish its run. Like I said, because it's based on or inspired by historical events, gives it no right to be boring or confusing. A lot of people will argue, just like the write-up that came up on screen about how Lisabi's real-life death is also still the mystery, but there was nothing mysterious about what we got in the film. It was just confusing. The narrative choices and all, and it could have been so much better in terms of structuring and relayering and just giving characters better motivation. Things like if he wanted Lisabi's friends to turn on him, easy thing to do by setting it up from the first movie. Just leave traces for it and build up from the second movie in a way that doesn't take away focus from the narrative. But by the time we get to that point, like, oh, this is where we're at, But there was nothing at all alluded to that. Because this is not a historical retelling, this is not a documentary, this is not a biopic even. So you do not expect everybody who's coming in to watch Lisabi is familiar with Lisabi's story. That's not how it works. You've chosen to take us into this world that you've created. It's Niyi Akinmolayan's world. And so it's on Niyi's shoulder. It's Niyi's responsibility to build an all-encompassing world that we, a layman, can walk in, have a good time, is knowledgeable about, oh, this is what happened. And then because of the events of the film, is inspired to want to go read more about this character. That is how it should work. But these are some of the bad characters, some movie characters now, just bad behavior that we need to expunge from Nigerian movie lovers. Because when you talk, you say, oh, no, this is how it happened in real life. But yeah, Lisabi, A Legend is Born, was disappointing. It just did not pay off the uprising that the first one started. It was ambitious, but disappointing. In fact, it is my opinion that the two movies, 1 and 2, could have been merged together. In fact, trimmed off. Both movies merged together and we get one concrete whole. I think the franchise would have been better off for this. But yeah, it is what it is. So Lisabi, A Legend is Born. Have you seen it? If you've seen it, please let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've not, and you want to see it because you saw the first one and you like the first one, well, give it a shot. It's not the worst thing on air, but chances are you'll be disappointed with how things does play off, Yeah. Thank you for watching. You can help us subscribe, share. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.